Hi, everyone. Welcome. Look who I have. Sorry, wrong way. We have Tom Timor with us today. And I know that most of you know Tom by now between Linda's channel and my channel. And has anybody else swooped you up, Tom, yet?
Oh, yeah.
So
been on a few over the years.
So between,
if anybody wants to see me on TV, you can always go to Gaia. I was on.
There you go. Visit Gaia.
Free trips to Denver. Hey, not too bad.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I actually should do that. I have Gaia TV. I should look you up. Do I just put your name in, Tom?
I don't know. I think you do. It's with Meredith, I believe.
Oh, with Meredith.
Yeah.
Okay. I like her very much.
Yep.
Yeah, she's the real deal. Okay, you guys. Well, welcome. And we are here today. We've done so many. I feel like I've done so many shows on 2024, but I think it's important. Just kind of preparing and being a part of it, and I think Tom and I have the same heart as far as making 2024 a good year and positive, and using the energies that are coming forth in for our highest and best good, right? The most benevolent outcome for us all for 2024. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about what Theo has and you have been able to channel with Theo in regard to the most benevolent and Gaia. Okay.
Yeah, because my next book is going to be, my 7th book is going to be on all many questions I've asked Gaia over several years, all arranged into topics like space and technology and things like that.
Ooh.
And go ahead.
When is that book coming out, you said?
Well, when I'm able to find someone at Hay House. My last 6 books have been published by Light Technology, and the lady that owns that company is getting to a time when she's really starting to slow down. And so she, when I came to her and talked about, the next book, she said, well, the most that I could do right now probably would be just to print it as an ebook. So she said, I suggest that you self-publish. And so that's what I looked into, and I was going to go with Ingram's because the Ingram's, I know, has so many of my books, that have already been published. They go into many hundreds of bookstores. And so I was going to use their self-publishing. And in the meantime, Lane, my editor of my weekly free newsletter,
yeah,
I have to mention that, she was having a reading from a lady friend of hers in Denver, and suddenly the psychic lady said, "Hay House, Hay House, Hay House." And she said, "What?" And she said, "Tell Tom to contact Hay House." Well, I hadn't, because I just assumed I was supposed to, self-publish. And excuse me. And so I asked Gaia and Theo about it, and they said, "Tom, you thought your only avenue was self-publishing, but Hay House will publish your book. They'll do quite well with it, and it'll cause all your other books to sell well too." So I said, okay. And so I tried to contact them, didn't have any email addresses, tried to do the Google approach, and it said, well, there are 3 different kinds of email addresses for Hay House. And so I picked one, and nobody's responded. So if anybody out there is an editor for Hay House or knows an editor for Hay House in Carlsbad, California or New York, tell them that they're supposed to be publishing Tom T. next book.
Well, I do know that there are editors who maybe they don't publish with Hay House, but they do have connections there, because editors will, if you have an editor that works with you and they edit your book, they have their hands in everywhere to get your book,
Yeah.
sold.
Yeah, and they say on their website, hey, you have to go through a literary agent, and
Yes.
I don't need at this stage of the game,
Right.
if they're
Yeah.
doing this many, and I've negotiated all my other books myself. I've negotiated hundreds, if not thousands, of contracts in the film and TV program distribution business. So I know contracts, and so it's just finding.
Yeah, it's just finding
getting
someone
direct.
who will be kind enough to connect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of
So
it.
most benevolent outcome for that.
Yes, Lisa's praying for the most. We all are. We all are. Okay. So as we move into 2024, can you give us a little highlight of what Gaia and Theo has any messages from them they want to share with us as we move into 2024?
Well, I think the elephant in the room is going to be what looks to me like the most benevolent event in 2024, and that's going to be the total solar eclipse on April the 8th, and it's going to come out of Mexico, go directly across Texas, Arkansas, and a number of other what would be called conservative or red states.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Across all the red states.
I mean, it really, and I'm told you don't have to be directly under it. You can be even hundreds or thousands of miles away, and it's going to make you more sympathetic to other people in all ways. And there will be people saying, gosh, why am I feeling so sympathetic to these people? But that's what this event's going to do.
A literal rewiring.
Yes. And it was, and I said, gosh, this was planned eons ago, because, literally millions of years ago. And I was told, yes, our souls knew that in this time period, with this many people alive and so many young souls, there was going to have to be help to help people be more benevolent. And so, lo and behold, here comes the total solar eclipse. I will mention that if you want the full effect, you better be making your hotel reservation or campground reservation or whatever it is literally right this week, because we've even had news stories in the Dallas and Fort Worth Metroplex that all the hotels are filling up, and rental cars are hard to get, and all that. So it's you better start now if you're coming this, want to go to a location where it's going to be a total eclipse.
That's wonderful. I'm just getting chills all over in regard to that. How wonderful. But again, if you're unable to travel, that's okay. You can still
get the effects.
Divinely get the effects from it. And so, especially knowing that this is kind of taking place, and that that rewiring is being offered for us to be more empathic or sympathetic to things, and that connection. So it sounds like almost like a remembering our collective conscious connection to you are me and I am you type of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing, and I, one of the things I'd like to mention is that, kind of starting on New Year's resolutions now, and it's going to go back to this, to the story I just told about the seventh book. But I'm going to tell an old story first.
Okay.
To kind of give you an idea about soul contracts. And I'm going to ask everybody that hasn't done this before to say, and we'll do it in a minute after the stories, but I'll want everybody to say, I request a most benevolent outcome to stay on my soul contract the rest of my life. Okay.
Ooh.
And that's like a New Year's resolution that automatically it works immediately. Okay. And I say immediately because maybe if you strayed off that soul path that you and your soul decided to take before you were born, that would be have the best challenges, the most successes, and all. If you strayed off onto another path, getting back on the right path may take a few weeks or months, but eventually you'll get there, and you'll be on what you and your soul agreed that was going to be best for you in this life. Okay. So
I'm writing it out.
Okay.
So we can see it. Contract.
Okay. So the old story I have is that this dates back a number of years. And for those in your audience that don't know, I've been in the international film and TV program distribution business for over 40 years. And I've been the executive producer of some really super low budget movies and shows. But a friend of mine who, believe it or not, used to live a block from where I used to live in Dallas, but at a different time period, he wound up sailing around the world in like a two-man sailboat. Excuse me. And he wound up going up the Seine River and docking in Paris. And there he met who became the love of his life, and he married her. She was a French professor, and he produced a couple of movies starring Stacy Keach and some documentaries, and had a book out on sailing and stuff like that. So he approached me. I was representing the Stacy Keach movies for him, and he approached me. He had a friend in Paris that's a literary agent, and that had the rights to some spy novels written in World War II by an English writer by the name of Cheney. And so we proceeded to option those books. Luckily, at no money, he had that worked out pretty well. And so it was my duty to try and put together the money to film the movies. So I wound up going to Cannes, France, and Milan, Italy, and Budapest, and I even went to St. Petersburg, Russia, where there was a film company there. And the only good thing that came out of that was that on the first night I was arriving, Paul McCartney played a concert in front of the in front of the museum, and I got to see Paul McCartney sing "Back in the USSR" to a Russian audience. So that was really fun. You can actually you can actually still find that on YouTube by just doing a search on YouTube for Paul McCartney, St. Petersburg, and you'll find that. I got the last ticket in about the 18th row that was available because I was just arriving on the day that he appeared. So that was good. The rest of it, every time that we would get close to raising the money, something really weird would happen. And I also, went to LA and all these different places trying to raise the money. Finally, I asked Theo, I said, I've been requesting benevolent outcomes for this all along, and every time I get close, something weird happens and it falls apart. And he said, Tom, he said that was not on your soul contract.
Ooh.
And he said, had you gone down that path, you would not have been able to reach all the people that you will reach with your books, because I hadn't written but maybe one or two books at that time, like The Gentle Way, who haven't seen that. He said, and you're speaking. Now, at that time, I had no earthly idea about these documentaries that are coming up that I'm supposed to do on board Antura's mothership. So that was the first time, and he basically said, it's not on your soul contract, so don't worry about it. And so I dropped it, and I never tried again.
Well, I like that, Tom, and that's an important. Thank you for sharing that story, because that's important for all of us when we look at some of our stories of where we were like, we thought we were on the right path here, but the doors kept closing everywhere.
Yes.
And that's a good example of where, it kind of shifted. We were not on our purpose.
Right. And you can force it by saying, oh, I have free will. But the problem with free will is that it doesn't always, and a lot of times does not align with what your soul contract is.
Correct.
So
yeah,
that's why I want everybody to say that now.
And I love, and people are responding. I don't know if you can see the comments, but
yeah,
they're loving it.
Probably I didn't
push the right
one.
But yeah, we're getting comments on loving. Tim loves this latest MBO. Lisa wrote it out for us. It's all good. Yeah. But yes, I love this.
Okay, so let me say it and let everybody say it with me. Okay. Okay. So I request the most benevolent outcome to stay on my soul contract for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you just got your first New Year's resolution that just came true.
Yay. And I'd love to throw it kind of out to the family that's here. Did you turn it so you can see the comments now?
Only with my glasses.
Okay.
There we go.
While he puts his glasses on so he can see for a second.
What was the glass of Zinfandel? I missed that one. Sounded good.
Oh yeah, they were talking wine. Yeah. All right. So I would love for the family to kind of talk about adding this number one, this most benevolent outcome prayer. But also, go ahead.
Okay, let me answer. I think it was Laura's. What if I have a lousy soul contract? You got lots of challenges in your life. Well, you can make them a lot easier by requesting benevolent outcomes as you go along. So I'm told, Theo says that if you are requesting benevolent outcomes all the time for all these challenges, a brick wall suddenly kind of turns into a big speed bump. You still have the challenge, but it's an easier challenge than if you were not to. So uh, now it hasn't happened yet, but anytime that I have a tornado dream, that's a bet. I don't like having tornado dreams because that normally means I've got a really big challenge ahead of me. And
Mine are tidal waves. Mine are tidal waves.
yeah. And so our son just recently had one. So both Dina and I, my wife, and I requested benevolent outcomes for whatever it was to be easy, and also had him to say a benevolent outcome. So whatever it is going to be easier,
To
when
maneuver.
it happens,
Yeah.
than it could have been had we not said that. So you gotta say your MBOs. They work.
Yeah.
As one big example, one time uh, um, I did a large distribution deal for a bunch of classic Spanish language movies with a TV network that is no longer in business. I can talk about it. And our contract, called for them to do certain things, and they didn't. And they got sued for $5 million by producers in Mexico. I and my company got sued for $1 million, and another distributor in Houston got sued for $1 million. And so I requested benevolent outcomes all along the way. We had a meeting in Houston to see if we could come to some kind of settlement. The network wound up paying like 500,000 or so. The guy in Houston 100,000, and we paid zero.
Wow.
That's you gotta work on.
There you go. Another MBA. Okay, so Viviani wants to know, how does that affect those who have a soul contract with you and their free will?
It has to be, when you request MBOs, it has to be benevolent for everyone in the request. Okay, and even sort of side people. So if it's not benevolent for everyone, I mean, as an example, a soldier can't say, I request the most benevolent outcome to kill my enemy before he kills me. That isn't going to happen. But if he says, I request the most benevolent outcome to come back from this patrol safely, then maybe, his enemy goes off to have lunch or dinner, or something calls him away, and everybody winds up safe at the end of the day.
Yeah. For all.
For all.
For all. I would love to hear from the family here to any benevolent outcome prayers that they just want to kind of type out that we can all kind of see with you for 2024. This one is important, the one that to stay on your soul contract. That's an overall really solid one. But if you guys want to share any benevolent outcome prayers that you have for yourself for 2024. We can also do a benevolent outcome prayer for the rewiring of right? Can you create for the rewiring of the eclipse?
Oh, the rewiring. Well, I mean, you can say, I request the most benevolent outcome for the results of the solar eclipse on me to have results even better than I can hope for or expect.
Even better than I can hope for. This is why he writes the books, you guys, because he says it. He has the correct words to say. Even better.
Well, you do this for a few years. They pop up pretty quick.
Okay, Patricia. Oops, I want to make sure I get them all. I request the most benevolent outcome for the right apartment in the right neighborhood for the highest and best greatest good for all involved. How's that? That's perfect.
Yeah, I had a lady that emailed me saying, "Oh, Tom, what do I do? My upstairs neighbors in my apartment house have this loud music going on all the time. I don't know what to do." And so I told her, I said, what you should consider doing is saying, I request a most benevolent outcome for my apartment managers to move me to a quieter place that will be perfect for me. Okay. And the other thing I said, start sending those people upstairs white light every single day. A lot of people that are really young souls and kind of, you know, well, anyway, uh, I could give some other definitions of that. But basically, if you start sending them white light every day, they can't stand that much light. And I've had several people that have done this over the years, and the people that they were having trouble with moved out.
Wow. See? Love it. Okay. Next one. Holly. The most benevolent. We knew what you meant. Bedeviled. We knew what you meant, Holly. Benevolent outcome for the collective. Yes. She said later, spell check. Okay. I love that.
Spell check, yes.
I love it. Thank you, Holly, for that smile. Okay. Tamara, I request the most benevolent outcome for the complete health and restoration as I enter 2024. How's that? Is that
For my complete what?
It says for my complete health and restoration.
Oh yeah, sure. And that's something. I mean, everyone, especially as you get older, you just don't realize when you get older that you start, things start breaking down. And the big topic of a lot of conversations is, well, what's wrong with you today? And let me tell you what's wrong with me, and you can request these things. When I had the last time I had congestive heart failure, which Mr. Trump supposedly is going to experience this year.
You watched my 2024 predictions?
Do what?
Oh, I guess you didn't watch my.
No, I'm sorry.
Predictions because it came through on my 2024 predictions that he.
Oh, very good. Well, we're right on the same page.
I got a lot of hate. Got a lot of hate mail from that.
Well, I was previously told that he was going to have some health problems in 2024, and then, somewhere between you or Linda or somebody, I saw that it was going to be congestive heart failure. So I asked, and I was told yes. But then I said, well, President Biden had said that he might withdraw from the race if Mr. Trump withdraws. And I was told that by the time this happens, it will be too late for him to withdraw. Okay. And so, I'm thinking earlier, I'd kind of been asking, well, who are some potential people? And I even got, they might even choose someone kind of not as well known, because everybody knows at that point, everyone would know that the Biden would win. So they might put in somebody like Hutchinson, who was in the early running and then dropped out. Someone that they know would carry the flag, but would probably have no chance of winning. So keep that name in the back of me.
Okay. Hutchinson. Okay.
I've even got like a 50% chance, but
Oh, interesting.
it may be totally somebody else. I don't know.
Interesting.
Our souls have loved to change things up on us. So
LLC says we're spoiling them with lots of good, so many good shows. Oh, I love that. Thank you for enjoying it. Enjoying. That's the right word. Enjoying the show. All right. Okay. All right.
and I was going to say something before that. Oh, I was going to say when I had congestive heart failure in 2015, and this is something anybody that's going to have an operation can do. Okay. In my case, certainly I was requesting a benevolent outcome for my operation before I ever went in. But I asked them, I said, well, don't put me under until after I've said my prayer um, on the operating table. And so they wheeled me in. By this time, it looked like space age because I'd had this done in 2008, and they so improved everything, and it was amazing. And I said, okay, I'm going to say my prayer now. And I said, I ask any and all beings to aid and assist the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, surgical nurses, and staff to perform their work perfectly. Thank you. And I said, okay, ready to go. Last thing I remembered. And it was a 4-hour operation. They zapped me 40 times on the ablation.
Oof.
They said I'm good for another 10 years. So
there you go.
There we go.
We'll take that. We'll take the 10 years, right?
Yep.
Okay. Our next one that came in. I think it's this one. I request a most benevolent, Patricia is saying, I request a most benevolent outcome for a mutually right and excellent professional standard dance partnership for the highest and best and greatest good as colleagues and dance partners.
Oh,
now that's pretty specific and I like it.
That's nice.
That's the way you do it, right? You get those specifics in.
Yeah. I mean, she's leaving it open for whoever's the best dance partner.
Mm-hmm. No boxing it in. Hi, Kevin Lewis. Okay. All right. So any other family, did I miss any of you guys? Any of the benevolent that you're hoping for 2024? We can say it with you while we're here all together. Really bring that in. But I really feel this to stay on my soul contract for the rest of my life. Thank you. Is really all encompassing.
Whoops, where did you go?
Oh, there was a pause. Are you there?
Okay, yep.
Okay. But what I was saying is I really feel like the most benevolent outcome to stay on my soul contract for the rest of my life is very all encompassing.
It is.
Robin this is interesting. Robin's been talking, Robin says they've been requesting compression of time.
Yes, you can do that.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. And it really helps for people to either have reports due at work or work due for school, or perhaps you're running late for a meeting and so you need more time. So we are allowed to manipulate time just a little bit. Okay. Let's just say you have a meeting at 2:00. It's 1:30 and it's a 45-minute drive there. So you say, I request a most benevolent outcome for a compression of time until 2 p.m. Then you don't look at your watch. Don't look at the clock in the car, nothing. Okay. And you just simply drive, and you'll find you'll get there a couple of minutes early before the meeting.
Oh.
And the same thing if you have a report, that's due in 2 hours and it looks like it's at least 3 hours of work or something, save the compression of the time and you'll get it done.
I love that. And obviously Robin has seen you before talk about this, or Robin also has a great understanding of that ability to compress time. Beautiful. All right. We have butterflies are free, most benevolent outcome for dizziness problems, so I can drive again. So is there a better way for her to word this?
You can say I request the most benevolent outcome for the perfect treatments for my dizziness that will bring me back to full health.
That will bring me back to full health, so I can drive again.
So I can drive again.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes, and we say that with you, butterflies are free. Craig,
there's some, keep in mind, there are some challenges that, we have to take off. In my case, or tick off. In my case, with the congestive heart failure, I asked why was I having it in this life? And I was told that in a past life as a young German soldier in World War I in the trenches, I died fairly early in the war, but not before I'd killed some of my enemy. And so I brought grief and heartache to the families and friends of those people, and so I I elected to have heartache physically in this life to balance that out. So that's why. Go ahead.
That's part of your soul contract, then.
Yeah, it's part of the soul contract, and that's why I have that. And I think maybe I sent that to you, that benevolent prayer that I say every single morning.
Yes. I feel like I posted that on the community page if you guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Because, and it basically goes, and I may be a word or so off, but it goes, I ask any and all beings to aid, comfort, and assist anyone that I've ever harmed, either physically, mentally, morally, spiritually, in any past, present, or future life. And I ask that any and all beings come to the aid and comfort of the families and friends of anyone that I've ever harmed in any way, in any past, present, or future life. When I asked Theo about this, he said, and keep in mind, I'm an old soul. I'm supposedly sitting at 1,005 lives. And he said, Tom, you were never inspired to say that prayer before this life. And he said, this is an extremely important prayer that you need to say every single day, because all of your lives in the past, present, and future are all going on at the same time. And when you say that, you affect every single one of those lives every single day. And so he said, trust me, you may have doubts, but do this and it will be good for you in the future. And it helps rewrite the past.
I was just going to say that. You must be psychic. I was literally just going to say it rewrites your past. It rewrites your line.
Yes, it's like the Mandela effect,
Yes.
that things suddenly are not the same as maybe you remembered them. People can Google the Mandela effect and see all the different things that have changed even in the last few years.
Oh, yes. Yes. Craig writes, for the most benevolent outcome to move further in mediumship studies and closer to my guide.
That's good.
Yep.
That'll keep him on his track.
Yes. good. And let's see, the next one. Tamara, did we do this one? I request benevolent outcome for complete health restoration. I think we did. Yes, we did. Okay, yeah, sorry. Now I'm back in line here. Letitia says, I request a most benevolent outcome for my body not to reject my new liver, and because of the medicine I'm taking for my hair to regrow quickly. Thank you. So she's taking medicine for her hair and so she doesn't want it to interrupt. So there's a couple things going on here.
Yes.
So
good.
Yeah, that's perfect, Letitia.
And she can also request benevolent outcome to find the best treatments that will help her hair grow sooner, faster.
Okay. I want to make sure I didn't miss any here. Perfect. All right. Minnie G says, how about, how can we pray a most benevolent prayer for someone else that's close to you with depression?
There's several MBOs or BPs, benevolent prayers you can do. I mean, one you could do, I ask any and all beings to aid, comfort, and assist John Jones to receive the best treatments and to find the best treatments for his depression that will have results better than we can hope for or expect. Depression is something, that's that can be ongoing, and finding the best treatments for it. You may go through one treatment and it works for a while and then it doesn't work anymore. So you keep asking to find the best one that'll work for you for the longest period of time.
Beautiful.
Now,
nope, Gina, you're coming up, Gina. You're coming next, I promise. Gotcha. All right, so Constance says, I request the MBO in my physical, mental, and financial recoveries in 2024. I like the wording, recoveries, but I feel like there's more, we can add something more, most benevolent outcome, physical, mental, and financial recoveries.
To be able to pay my bills each month easily.
So even put in some more specifics there for her.
Money miracle. I've had people say that one.
Ooh, money miracle. I like that.
Have had success at saying that. So
money miracle. We like that. Okay. We are saying that with you, Constance. All right. The next one. Here we go, Gina. I request a most benevolent outcome for me to be open to receiving abundance in all its forms. That's good.
That's excellent.
Excellent. I request a most benevolent outcome for me to be open to receiving abundance in all its forms. Okay. I like it.
Okay.
Michelle, I request the most benevolent outcome for my project to extend PolitiZoom into YouTube channel and facilitate a collaboration between straight political news and views and tarot reading, mediumship, and astrology. So combining those modalities together, bringing straight news.
Yeah, I think that solar eclipse is going to, affect everyone benevolently, but due to your sign, I mean, like it'll be in the sign of Aries. It'll be very interesting to see what it does to Aries. Or I think it's going to have different effects on different people but still benevolently. So,
Yeah.
something else I should mention that everyone needs to be saying every morning, like I do. I send white light and love to every single continent, every single island, all the rivers, lakes, and streams, all the oceans and seas of the world. And I release this white light to go where it's needed the most, to light up the darkest corners of the planet. So there's no more darkness, only light, and no more secrets. Thank you.
Ooh, very much needed. And that's what's happening. Maybe it's because you've been praying that prayer.
Well, it works a lot better if there's 10,000 of us,
A lot of people saying it.
saying
Yeah.
the prayer, each morning. It has, when you say these benevolent prayers, it has a crescendo. I'll put it in front of the camera there. It has a crescendo effect, so that instead of 10,000, it's like 100,000. You can really change things, if everyone is saying these same prayers. Now, I have some of these prayers in my newsletter every single week. Some people just skip right past, I've seen that before, and they go on to read the topics. But I wish everyone would say them.
Yeah.
Because you are joining with, hopefully, if not hundreds, thousands of people, saying that same prayer, when you get your newsletters, and it has that crescendo effect. So if you do decide to sign up for my free newsletter, please try and say those benevolent prayers I have up at the top every day.
On my channel, we call it linking in. We're linking in with each other. And when you say those prayers together, just linking in with everybody, saying, offering that crescendo effect. Tamar's asking, is it helpful to repeat the MBO daily, write it down, or just request once and trust it and let it go?
Keep in mind, MBOs are specifically for you, okay? So you only have to say them once, Theo tells me. But if you want to say them multiple times, if it makes it feel better, then you're not penalized, okay? So it's up to you, but you only have to say it once on MBO requests. Benevolent prayers, those are the ones that you need to say every day if possible, for other people, nations, the people in Japan that suffered the huge earthquake, things like that. You can say benevolent prayers for people like that, and even animals and so
on. And okay. This is where thegentlewaybook.com is your website.
Yep.
So that's where you can go. Desert Dawn was asking how to sign up for your newsletters.
Yeah, it's on the very first page, up in the right corner somewhere. There's a box, and you just click on it and put in your email address and your name, and it'll send you an email back saying you need to confirm that you do wish to sign up for this newsletter.
All right, so there's more here. All right, so Kimberly has, I request the most benevolent outcome for myself and Roxy to be reunited so we can finish our soul contract together at the present time. Beautiful, perfect. So Desert Dawn is asking, so we can use the most benevolent outcome in resolving past issues with her family, like daughter, siblings, father, etc.
Yep.
Yes.
And you could, and keep in mind when you are having things like that happen, You can also send them white light every single day. Okay. Eventually, um, you'll see a change in it. It won't happen overnight. Okay. But if every day you say, I send a white light and love to my, Father John and Mother Mary and whoever they are, whoever you're having a hard time with, if you keep sending white light to them every day, it will soften their relationship with you.
But even if they've passed, right? You can heal that energy, even if you
Sure. And once they pass, I mean, if they're a close relative, like a parent or something like that, they're around all the time. They've lost that
yeah.
that human energy and beliefs and all that stuff, and they're around to see how you turn out based on how they raised you. So they're there, and they can be in multiple places at the same time. So I mean, let's just say there were, five kids in the family. They could be in 5 places all at the same time.
Yep. Love that. Okay. Just visiting says, I request a most benevolent outcome for my highest good to maintain good health and keep steady in writing, illustration, and publishing of my children's book. Yes, and we say that all together with you.
Good.
Leah says, how can we help this? I don't, one of 12 Earths now. What's the most benevolent outcome for her? So, do you know what that means? The one of 12?
Well, I mean, okay, there are 12 timelines. Okay.
Okay. I see what.
And there are 12 Earths, and there are 12, yous. So we're on timeline number 6. So we typically get, things from both directions, lower timelines, but upper timelines. In fact, most of our inventions come from, and inspired ideas come from the upper timelines, and they slowly work their way down to us.
Okay. There you go.
I'm not sure if I'm answering that, what you want.
Is there a most benevolent outcome prayer we can say to assist this energy?
Well, I mean, if you're using MBOs every day, when I send white light and love to, to our planet, afterwards I say, and I've added this, but it's not on the news, not on the website yet, I don't think. I also say, and I send white light and love to all the other timeline Earths, the very same. So all 12 are lighted, and there's no more darkness and no more secrets. So I just add that in.
Perfect. All right. Okay. They say that everybody's saying that they're getting some kind of syntax error when they try to get to the gentlewaybook.com.
The
So I don't
gentle,
know.
GENTLEWAYBOOK.com. Normally works.
Okay. All right. So that's Morsi says, Hay House publishing site is Balboa Press. They often pick up writers who are selling well. So Balboa Press, check them out, I guess. There was another one that someone.
Hay House has been bought by Penguin, I think, but it's still operating independently.
Hay House has a self-publishing arm, and it's called Balboa Press. So if you're a self-publisher, they have a publishing arm called Balboa Press. They often pick up authors who are selling and publishing under Hay House after. So start at Balboa Press, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be a great way to get into Hay House.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
If I'm forced to, but let's see if I can do it an easy way. If,
Most benevolent outcome for that. All right. So Martha has most benevolent outcome for my kidneys need to pass an 8 mm stone. Woo! Before, yeah. Small in here. Okay, Martha, most benevolent outcome. And the best treatment, right? Okay. I'm channeling Tom right now. And for the best treatment possible. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Desert Dawn says, getting to the site isn't an issue. It's signing up for the newsletter. After you get there, it gives you an error. Okay.
Oh, great.
Okay, so they'll check. He'll check
in. If worst comes to worst, I hate doing it this way because it creates a lot of work for me, but you can email me. And you can find my email address on the website, and you can email and say, sign me up.
Sign me up. Give him some more work.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope I'll check it after we finish here and see.
Yeah, fixing that syntax error that they're getting every time they try to sign up for the newsletter. All right. On the inside, Tuta Speaks is here. JJ, she loves the newsletter. Thank you. All right. So before we're at the end now, but I do want to just say, the most benevolent outcome in our soul contract for the rest of our lives is, I'm going to add that to my list of prayer to say. And
you only have to say it once.
You only have to say it once. I know that I already said it here, but I'm going to sit in intention. I'm going to really dive into this and sit into the intention of it.
And you may be right on your soul contract anyway.
I might be, but well, thank you. I'll say thank you then. Anyways, Tom, wonderful to have you and to bring encouragement to us as we step into 2024 and that this eclipse coming for us, this is happening for us to bring in that rewiring for us. So that's something really positive to look forward to in 2024. And I like the idea as we do our most benevolent outcomes and we look at each day and we're like, okay, we've surrendered to the most benevolent outcome for us today and whatever happens, and we're on our right path. So even it kind of shifts your view, even if you're facing a challenge.
Yep.
It's like, oh, well, it's all good because I know that I'm on my right path. I just know that I am. And so this challenge is coming. And so
I just need to request an MBO to successfully handle this challenge and for the challenge to be even easier than I can hope or expect.
Exactly. So we got this. We got the right tools in our tool belts.
We do.
For this year, you guys.
And just go to my website and you can, all my newsletters are archived there since 2007. So you can read to your heart's content if you want to. And you can do searches, put in a word or a term and do searches. And then hopefully my sign up function will work within a day or so. I'll I'll get my son, who's my IT guy.
He'll get his people on it. He'll get his people on it. Anyways, as always, it's been a pleasure to have you. The family here loves you. And we look forward to having you back. We'll do another check-in throughout the year, I'm sure, as we move forward in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And my next newsletter will have more predictions for 2024.
There you go. And he does have a prediction section, so check that out. Love you, family. And I will see you all tomorrow on whatever things are coming up for me tomorrow here on this channel.
Wow.
I forget, like, today's Tuesday, so usually Tuesdays are my day off, but I've had lots of days off, and so we're here on my day off, guys. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. See you next time. And happy 2024.